Well, that was unexpected. Welcome to Ms. Mojo, and today we'll be counting down our picks for the top 10 misleading animated Disney trailers.
Okay, there are mammals from all over the globe in Zootopia. Large and small, fast and slow.
Think you know Kingdom Hearts? Click below to sign in with your Google or Facebook account and take the new trivia quiz on WatchMojo.com. For this list, we'll be going over some of the trailers for Disney and Pixar films that gave viewers false or incomplete impressions on what they'd be like.
Do you ever look at someone and wonder what is going on inside their head?
Did you guys pick up on that?
Sure did.
Something's wrong.
We're gonna find out what's happening, but we'll need support.
Number 10. Frozen. It may have become the biggest animated movie ever, but Frozen's marketing was pretty inauspicious. The film had several trailers that gave audiences misconceptions.
It couldn't be warmer. It couldn't be sunnier. But that's about to change. Forever.
These were primarily about Elsa's place in the story, often showing her as the antagonist, or even failing to convey that she and Anna are sisters. The most infamous trailer for Frozen, though, was its UK one, which focused mostly on Olaf, leaving British audiences wondering if they'd wandered into the wrong movie. Some have also theorized that it points to Disney being worried that Frozen wouldn't appeal to boys. Number 9. Moana. Previews for Moana, while generally accurate in conveying the story and its general themes, also included scenes that were missing or altered in the final film, such as replacing Maui's song in the movie You're Welcome with a verbal explanation instead.
And I should know, because I'm Maui. Hey, let me do this, please.
Most early trailers also made it seem like Pua the pig was going to be Moana's sidekick, but the pig that was promised proved scarcely present in the final picture, with that part being occupied by Moana's rooster, and Pua only appearing in a few scenes. Number 8. A Goofy movie. Gosh, this is one misleading trailer. A TV spot for a Goofy movie, this trailer features several glaring omissions and outright lies.
His girlfriend's a babe.
Call you later.
Okay.
His best bud is cool.
Max is painted as being popular and having a girlfriend from the start, when his attempts to get both drive his actions in the film.
There's nothing that I wouldn't do if it was getting you to notice.
Pete and PJ, Goofy and Max's best friends, are completely absent from the trailer, and Bobby is called Max's best friend instead. Lastly, anyone who only saw this spot would be hard-pressed to guess that a Goofy movie has dramatic elements, focuses on a road trip, or the fact that it's a musical.
Just being out on the open road.
Number 7. WALL-E.
Mankind will leave our planet, leaving Earth's cleanup in the hands of one incredible machine.
Although WALL-E is primarily a sci-fi rom-com with some adventure elements thrown in, that didn't stop the folks in charge of advertising it from playing up the action, emphasizing those adventure elements with more intense music, and using many of them for the trailer. Although even WALL-E's romance is touched on, the bulk of the preview is devoted to action moments, probably to engender as much excitement as possible. The trailer also misleads by painting Captain McRae as a villain, even adding in a line that is not in the movie.
Arrest that robot.
Number 6. Tangled. The trailers for Tangled are a tangled mess of contradictions and misapprehensions. Many include lines, narration, or scenes that are not in the film. One of the more glaring differences is the suggestion that Rapunzel can control her hair like a tail or limb, and use it to perform tasks or attack Flynn, which she can't do in the movie. The use of pop songs in some of the trailers also makes Tangled seem more like a DreamWorks movie than the traditional Disney musical it is.
Not a care in the world. At least for most folks.
Number 5. The Hunchback of Notre Dame.
About one extraordinary human being discovering the magic within himself.
This retelling of the French Gothic novel is one of Disney's darkest animated films ever. but you'd never know it if you just watch the trailers.
Man, I thought he'd never leave. I'll be spitting feathers for a week.
Well, that's what you get for sleeping with your mouth open.
The marketing plays up the comedic moments with the gargoyles and the brighter, more beautiful moments of animation, while omitting or downplaying the darker parts of the story, particularly its villain.
I was just imagining a rope around that beautiful neck.
We can't blame Disney for not being entirely honest about a film that goes contrary to their brand image, but we'd still prefer a little more truth in advertising on this one.
Come with me.
You're right. I'll go.
Way to go, lover boy!
Number 4. Zootopia.
Flash, 100-yard dash. Buddy, it's nice to see you.
Nice to see you, too.
On a similar note to our last entry, the trailers for Zootopia also emphasize the comedy, and to great effect, we have to say. Even so, they do sidestep the main point of the film, which is that it's an allegory on the dangers of prejudice, while also dealing with surprisingly adult subjects like political corruption and racial profiling.
I mean, it's not like a bunny could go savage.
Right, but a fox could, huh?
Nick, stop it. You're not like them.
Oh, there's a them now.
You know what I mean. You're not that kind of predator.
Granted, those are pretty heavy things to drop in a trailer, but they still caught many of us off guard when we went in expecting a light-hearted animal comedy.
But the truth is, Zootopia isn't perfect. And just like our world, not everyone gets along. Especially natural enemies.
Number 3. Up. Continuing the trend from the last few films, though with one from Pixar this time, Up presented itself as a relatively cheerful adventure movie, while also playing up the characters' time spent in the air.
Come on, boys!
It gave no indication of Carl's tragic backstory that opens the story. Granted, the lack of warning beforehand does make that opening scene all the more of a punch to the feels, but some of us prefer to brace ourselves before we take that kind of an emotional hit.
Journey to a lost world. With these guys.
Hi, Mr. Fredricksen. Please let me in.
Number 2. The Incredibles. Pixar often creates scenes and sketches specifically for trailers, which they use to establish the tone of the film without giving away plot details. To this end, the teaser for The Incredibles contains some rather misleading and wrong information, such as that Mr. Incredible has always worn the colors of his new suit.
You want to make me a suit?
You push too hard, darling, but I accept.
But even more misleading is the fact that he answers a hotline and is told that the person on the other end needs his help, which does not convey that superheroes are considered pariahs by the public in the movie.
The government quietly initiated the Superhero Relocation Program. The supers would be granted amnesty from responsibility for past actions, in exchange for the promise to never again resume hero work.
The rest of the family is also absent, despite their struggles being prominent as well. Before we get to our top pick, here are a few honorable mentions.
And finally, the pièce de résistance, a very special, very rare.
Labels not make you happy. Good, bad. You must love you.
I don't want to be the bad guy anymore.
Walt Disney, the world's greatest storyteller, brings the world's greatest love story to the screen. Bambi. The story that proves that love can be loaded with laughs.
Number 1. Brave. This Pixar film's trailer may be about a wayward and willful young woman, but it's equally wayward with how it represents what Brave is about.
I drew my sword and...
Chomp! Dad's leg was clean off!
Oh, that's my favorite part!
The trailer emphasizes action and portrays Merida as a rebellious girl whose rejection of tradition upsets the kingdom.
What's the worst that could happen? No more fighting! Show a little decorum!
In actuality, it's more about the relationship she has with her mother, which they try to repair after she accidentally turns her into a bear. We can definitely forgive not wanting to give such a key plot point away, but the trailer definitely feels like a transparent attempt to secure the male demographic.
If you had the chance to change your fate, would you?
Do you agree with our picks? Check out these other great clips from Ms. Mojo and be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.